Hey guys, so today I'm bringing you another episode of the Elixir Academy. It's been a while since I did my last one, so to just go over it really quickly, Elixir Academy is when you go onto my stream and I help you cut your elixirs for you. And not only is it elixir cutting help, I also teach you the basics of how to cut elixirs. So if you're interested in this type of service, please come over to my stream, twitch.tv/misoxshrew, where I stream every single night starting at 10 p.m. PST, and just save up some channel points and I will help you cut and teach you how to cut your elixirs. I can also just cut your elixirs for you without teaching you, just let me know. But just want to let you know that the teaching service is also a part of this package. But guys, today I want to show you the second episode of this where I helped another viewer to cut their elixirs, and I'd say they went pretty well. It's not like all of them were great, but we ended up cutting a 4-4 at the end and for a set piece as well. So if you enjoy this video series and want to see more of it, please let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, if y'all enjoy the video itself, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell notifications, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. All right, guys, see you in a bit. Here's the thing. Here's some couple of rule of thumbs for crafting elixirs, especially for purple elixirs, right? The method of crafting purple elixirs, cutting purple elixirs versus legendary elixirs is slightly different. So for purple elixirs, you want to take a little bit more risks than for legendary elixirs because the actually getting a purple elixir that's decent is a lot harder than getting the ones from legendary elixirs. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is that in general, for crafting elixirs, you want to try to get the options that gives you the most points. So looking for options, especially at the beginning, that it's like chances to give you extra points, things like that. That's kind of what you're going to go for. Third thing is that you want to go for damage, right? I'm assuming you're in a DPS. Are you in a DPS character? Aldnoah 0? I don't know. Okay, got it. Yeah, so you want to go for stuff with damage. And then I'd say the other thing is there's a couple of pretty, I don't know how to say it, there's advanced techniques that go into crafting elixirs. So you should take a look at a video, like the memorizer video that goes into that. But for today, what we'll do is I'll just kind of show you kind of the most commonly used techniques. So this is your first elixir. So looking at the options right here, you can see that you have potion poisoning, boss damage, and blessing of life. And for this, there's only one that gives you damage, which is boss damage. So that's why you pick that one. And boss damage is the best in slot for shoulders as well. Lolly Racing? What the fuck is that? We'll play that on Wednesday, okay? If anything. I'll take a look at it, and then if it's good, it's okay, then I'll play it on Wednesday. Goddamn, Batako. Okay. So, with the same thing in mind, Master Evasion does not give you any damage. Potion Poisoning does not give you any damage either. So you want to go for middle, weapon power. Alright, so here's the thing, right? Left is the best in slot for pants. Middle, no damage. Right, no damage. So one thing you have to note is that you already have a shoulder piece right now. You have boss damage, right? So that's for a shoulder piece. The thing is, if you have a shoulder piece and any other piece as well, so in this case, pants, right? If you get your, your elixir cutting to be landing everything in the boss damage and crit damage, that's actually bad. Because if you put the crit damage on your shoulder, that actually doesn't count for anything. It's useless. And vice versa. If you put the boss damage on your pants, it's useless. But for me in general, I'd say that it's okay to take two specific equipment piece lines that are good, just because it's not super risky. The likelihood that you're going to get both of them as your main elixir kind of cuts is very rare. So I'd say go for crit damage on this one. Okay, so this one doesn't really matter too much because none of them really give you damage, right? So depending on your class, it might sort of influence what you want to pick here. What class do you play? Reaper? Okay, so definitely Reaper, you have no mana, right? So MP is completely useless. Resource Blessing, also pretty useless because of that. So you're going to take a Master Evasion. And then last one, Luminary is a support a line, so you don't want that one. So you either pick, so you're going to pick Potion Poisoning here. Perfect. So now you have 3 choices right here, right? You have crit damage, increase the transmutation rate. So that's rate and not like adding anything. So sometimes that's okay. The middle one is also transmutation rate, so same thing. And then right, the effect will be transmuted 2 times. So it'll be increased by 2 levels, which is really, really good. That is one of the best normal lines that you can get. So as I mentioned earlier, anything that gives you extra nodes is very, very good, or is generally like ones you want to go for. So click on Grandma for her one. Yep, go ahead and select device and then press the bottom button, select device. You don't get to choose which one, unfortunately, for this. It's just that the effect that's transmuted will be transmuted twice. Yeah, it could be 3 nodes if it's a great success. So click transmute one more time. Ooh, nice. It went to boss damage. That's good. Now, as you can see, there's little dots that start appearing, right? You have 2 purple dots and you have blue dots that appear. So those are what we call like critting, right? So when you fill all those up, you get a really like bonus, like kind of stronger effect. So in general, your goal is to fill those up as many times as possible. So how do you fill those up? So the way you fill up blue is by continuing to click one effect. So if you click on the blue one again, and select device, if you do that, that'll put that at 2 blue dots, and it'll turn all the purple ones into 2 purple dots. So every time you click on blue, it'll continue stacking it, and every time you don't click on the purples, it'll continue stacking those. Now, if you swap and, for example, be like, oh, I can't select blue anymore, or I should click another one, then that'll refresh that slot and refresh the blue one as well, and it'll make it start at 1 again. So in general, ideally, in an ideal world, you just keep clicking on blue and keep going down the line. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. And also there are some advanced techniques that at certain times, you're going to want to click off the blue one. So if we look at the effects here, right? Decrease transmutation rate of Master Evasion by 10% for all remaining transmutations. That's not a bad line. Because it reduces the chance of you hitting a line that you don't like. You don't want that one. So that's not bad. The second one is I can increase one effect with the lowest level, but lose one other effect. So, the screen is frozen. Can you still hear me? Okay, there we go. Okay. So the one in the middle says, it's like Michael says, it's a gamble, right? You can lose one effect of another one, which in this case you don't have anything other than boss damage, right? So basically 4 out of 5 times that would not lose an effect, but it still is a gamble. And on the right, increase poisoning transmutation rate by 35 for this transmutation. So that's not great because you don't really want potion poisoning, but at the same time, as I mentioned, your goal is to continue to stack the blues. So you can either go for middle or you can go for right, depending on what your kind of preference is. For me, in general, I'm typically gonna be continuing to stack blue. Like, yes, it kind of like it makes potion poisoning higher chance of succeeding, but at the same time, it's, you know, not like you can continue stack the blue. Like either one is fine. Personally, I'd probably just click the one on the right. So just click that one and then click select device. Okay, click it again and hope it doesn't go into potion poisoning. Fortunately, it did, and it is what it is. So now we are in a situation where the blue one says the effect transmuted this time will increase by 3 levels, but it will consume 2 attempts. Now, in general, for me, I don't think it's ever worth it to take anything that says consuming attempts, because every time you skip out on attempts, right? It's what should I call it? It makes you lose a chance to get another line, right? So losing a chance at another line, you're losing a chance at another great success as well. So typically, I wouldn't select that one. But at the same time, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes you can click it. Now, middle one doesn't do anything really, right? It just swaps the two, and you don't really care about that. Like, it's not like you're gaining an advantage by swapping it. And then on the left one, all the way on left, it says I'll increase the effect of what you selected, and I'll have a 25% chance of succeeding, right? So that one is decent. Now, here is the kind of place you have to be in, right? Do I want to go for the left one, or do I want to go for the right one? Because typically when you re-roll for advice, you know, you're the one on the thing on the right that says view other advice, right? Those are limited. You typically don't want to use those unless you're forced to use them. So in this situation, you're not forced to use them. You can pick right, but for me personally, I actually don't really like that effect. So I probably would pick left. But some people would pick right in this situation. Personally, in general, anything that consumes turns, I don't pick. So I would probably pick left onto like boss damage. And my general rule of thumb is that you want to have try to max out one node, like one line, as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, it didn't hit the 25%. It is what it is. And that went to Master Evasion, sadly. Okay, now great success amongst all effects is okay, right? So I would just continue down blue again. If you can, just keep going down the blue line. Okay, so at this point, right, you are at a place where you're basically saying, I'm going to try to transmute boss damage and master evasion because those are where most of your nodes are at. So that's kind of where you should be kind of thinking about as you're kind of cutting this elixir. Like, even though ideally it would have been boss damage and weapon power, sadly, your nodes aren't really going in that direction. So right now, your goal is like, okay, well, boss damage, master evasion. What can I do to maximize these, right? Unfortunately, the blue effect does guarantee that you're not going to get anything into either of them. But sadly, I'd say like at this point, it's probably not worth it to reset Grandpa by clicking on him. But also Grandma's is really bad too. So you kind of have to click on Killmonger, the blue one at this point. Because again, using rerolls, typically you don't want to use it unless you're like forced to. Ooh, that's actually kind of interesting now. I mean, it's not, it is what it is. Like it's, okay. So now you have a critical blue, right? It says increase the great success of all effects by 15%. That's actually really good because great success of all effects means that you're going to be critting it, which like a higher chance to crit, which means you get an extra node when you when you are able to hit crit. So I'd 100% click on Killmonger on this one because now you're at 30% for every single one of these. Oh my god, it's going everywhere. Oh my god, it's going everywhere. Okay, I think so. I would say in this situation, probably reset. You're probably not going to get a good one at the end of the day here, unfortunately. Yeah, click the middle one. The flow's not good. Reset Elixir's level and effects. Yep, so click that one and then select advice. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, the pants critical damage is the best in slot for pants, and that's going to be better than weapon power. So while both of them give damage, the middle one is going to be better. Okay, so none of these give you anything good, but stagger is probably going to be the best for you, yeah. Okay, you're only got a 4 2x2? Nice. All right, so Vanguard Chaos is not a good effect. Now, you're going to be choosing between Blessing of Life and Master Evasion. Both of those are just kind of whatever. Just choose which one you think is better. Master Evasion, I think, makes your cooldown on dashing is lower, and then Blessing of Life means your passive recovery is better. Okay. This one I just say escape expert. Explosive expert is pretty garbage, and you don't want max HP on chest. That's not good. Ooh, critical chaos. I'm trying to remember. I think Lunar Reapers go critical, if I remember correctly. I think. Yeah, critical. Okay, so you take that one. So you take the critical chaos because you want. So here are the set effects, right? You know how everybody says like you need 35 set, you need 40 set, right? That's what this is. You need critical chaos on your gloves and critical order, I think it is, for your helmet to get the set effect. You need both of them. You need one on the helmet and one on the gloves in order to start being able to get those set effects. So even if you have 40 nodes, if you don't have those effects on your equipment, then you don't get the set effect. Now, different classes have different best in slot set effects. For Lunar Reaper, Critical Chaos is going to be the better one to do. So you're going to click on that one. Now, typically, for a purple elixir, I probably, if it wasn't the set effect, like the glove set effect or the helmet set effect, I wouldn't even cut this one. I'd go for a reset. But in this case, just having the set effect bonus is very, very important. So I would probably just go this and cut a critical chaos, and anything else is fine other than crit damage. So click on that one and refine it. Yep. Okay. So now here's the mindset, right? I just want critical chaos and anything else and points are the most important thing. So we're very, very early on in our kind of elixir cutting place. And again, our mindset is as many nodes as possible. Since we're very, very early on, we have basically there's one choice that's the best choice. And that is going to be Grandpa with a -2 +2. Because we don't lose anything if we get -2, right? But we can gain extra nodes if we get +2. So that's the one that I'd go for. No change. Okay. Now that is not ideal, to be honest. We're probably just going to be cutting the crit damage, to be honest. We're probably going to forget about the critical chaos at this point. So I would probably go... So in this situation, right? Decreased transmutation by 5% is fine. It's okay, but it's not great. Enhanced crit damage, it's not amazing either in this point, but we would be stacking blues, which is not bad. And then on the right, it's another gamble, right? And in my opinion, for the most part, if you're not gambling on purples, you're not really doing it right. So I personally probably would gamble, right? Because also, if you think about it this way, right? Yes, you are swapping off a blue, but you only have one node in, you know, everything right now. So swapping off right now wouldn't really hurt your progress all that much. So I would probably just click that one and cross my fingers. We get a +2 on that. Even +1's not bad. Something. Ooh, that's painful. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it basically puts you back at square one. Because earlier you did get a crit, right? You did get a crit. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Effect increase one effect with the lowest effect by 2 levels. I mean, personally, because it's a purple elixir, right? I probably wouldn't go for that because you're starting to kind of like spread your nose a little bit too thin. So I would probably just go for either left or right. Left is going to be more consistent, but again, you're going to be starting to lose more nodes again. But right one, it's not like you don't really gain anything from it, right? So personally, I'm thinking. I mean, also at this point, right? And Michael brings up a good point, like. Because you don't have 2 nodes in crit damage anymore, it could go 2 into critical chaos. So it's like middle is the gambling one, and then left is the consistent one. So probably just go middle, and then cross your fingers it goes into critical chaos. Well, that's not amazing. Yeah, this shit is kind of going everywhere. I'm not gonna lie. This one, I think we just continue sending Grandpa here to stack the blues and the purples. Because the right one's not very good. Okay, +1. We continue to stack blue because one, blue gives you an extra node, right? Random extra node, and it makes it so you don't have to swap anything. So yeah. Ooh, that's not bad actually. So now you're probably trying to bank on a master evasion, like crit damage or something, or if you can't get into crit damage, maybe stagger. Increase transmutation of rate of this effect you select by 15% for everything. That's not bad. Honestly, you either choose that onto master evasion or critical damage. Again, in general, for me, I'd probably put on master evasion because, like I said earlier, in general, you want to try to max out one as soon as possible. So I'd probably go middle into master evasion. Okay, so shuffle is not good. Shuffle doesn't really do anything. Let's be real. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to, so there is this one method where basically you go for a free turn at 2 and a exhaust at 1. So what you need to do in this situation is you need to change and swap over to another thing. So you need to go and swap away from Grandpa into somebody else. In this case, I have never seen Shuffle actually work out. And also, you actually have a situation where actually you can't. Aeon is right. You actually can't either go for you can select for any of them because the left one is gonna be going back to 1 anyways. So you can actually click any of them at this point. I personally wouldn't pick the shuffle just because like you have a ton of nodes in master evasion right now, and that's not the worst thing in the world in my opinion. Yeah, it just depends on what you think, right? In this situation, shuffle is like a huge gamble. It pretty much never works. But if you think you're lucky, then you could go for it. But the middle one is definitely the most consistent option. Like if you click shuffle and it fucks up, you're done. This elixir's done. You're not moving on. You're gonna scrap it. So it's whether or not you think you're lucky enough to get that to just shuffle into something really, just into a good setup basically. The you got this. All right, bet go. Yep. I mean, honestly, that actually wasn't the worst thing in the world. That actually worked out decently. I'm not gonna lie. That actually worked out okay. It wasn't like, pog crazy, but it actually worked out decently. Okay, so at this point, right, you never want to click on Grandpa ever again for the strategy to work. So you either can pick on Killmonger or Grandma. Killmonger, as I mentioned, he takes 2 of your turns, which you never, pretty much almost never want to do. So you're gonna click on Grandma. Oh, okay. Okay. Now you're on turn 4, which means you need to swap off of the blue. So you cannot click on Grandma, and you need to click on Killmonger. And in this case, Killmonger would have been the best choice anyways. So you go over there. And that's bad too. So in order to make this work, right, you basically need to keep clicking on Killmonger, but that's a bad thing. So you need to re-roll here. So click View Other Advice, and hope you don't get something bad there. Escape Expert, that's totally fine. So you're gonna click on that one. Okay. Seal Critical Chaos, that's fine. At this point, you're not going for that anyways. Prage for free turn. Prage for free turn. Oh, this is a good start. This is good. This is a good start. Prage for free turn. Oh, you need to reroll this. You need to reroll this. Well, sadly, it just means that you're not going to get anything better than a 4-1 at this point. So, I mean, just click on it, seal stagger, and then just let it go. Okay, Escape Expert, stagger. Yeah, Master of Evasion. Ooh, there we go. Critical Chaos. That's what we want. And hope you get one more good line. Sadly, you didn't. But still, we're going to try to cut this because the set pieces are a premium. So just go and click Potion Poisoning, I guess. Yeah, that one. So again, you want to cut Critical Chaos. Try to max that out. Get as high as can. And you get one of the other ones. Doesn't matter which one it is. Nice. You hit the 50-50. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, Grandma is not bad at all. I think with this one, it's actually worth just hopping off of Grandpa and going into Grandma. 2 levels is very nice. Cross your fingers is on the Critical Chaos, but even if it's on something else, not the worst thing. Oh, okay. This one, I would personally just go... here's the thing, right? And I know Michael is suggesting left, but here's the reason why I'm not going left. Because you still want another... That's the Critical Chaos is your only one in right now, right? You still need a second line to be good. If you go left, you're taking a big risk. If that shit goes south, then it's over. Or it's not over, but it's like not good. But if you go right, you still need a second line. So it's not like, going Potion Poisoning is a bad thing. You could, like, none of the other lines are good anyways. So you could just go Potion Poisoning and hope that hits a 2. And if it doesn't hit a 2, you don't lose anything. So I just go Potion Poisoning, the right one. Ooh, okay. Great success on the Escape Extra, not bad. I personally just keep going down blue because you're 1 off of a blue crit anyways. And none of the other ones are, like, amazing. So, yeah, just keep going down blue. Okay. Okay, Advice is good. That's good. Just click the blue. No, I prefer Advice, honestly. I prefer Advice because later on for the crits, it's, for me, that's what I prefer. Okay, you do, let's see. No, you do not want right, unfortunately. Middle is probably going to be your go-to because left is about to crit, right? And also middle's not a bad one. Transmutation rate is fine. Yep. Last turn chaos setup, exactly. Ooh, okay. You don't want to reset. Definitely not. You can click either Grandma or the middle one. The middle one's not good, right? Middle is not good at all. So you definitely want to click Grandma on this one. Ooh, okay. I mean, it's whatever. It's not great. I mean, it's not nothing. It's barely pretty much nothing. Okay. So at this point, right, you could exhaust both Grandpa and Killmonger. That's like, a choice you have at this point, right? But at the same time, Grandpa is a garbage ass choice anyway, so you never click on him. So, you'd honestly, again, in this situation, I just click on Grandma because Killmonger's choice is a really bad one anyways. So just click on Grandma. Oh, okay, we're cooking. Now you gotta click off of Grandma. You can't click her anymore. And now you choose between Killmonger and Grandpa. Personally, I like the Grandpa one. That's not a bad one. And then that also means that you're burning Killmonger, which I think is not a bad choice in this situation. There is a world where you can click on left here because technically you do want Escape Expert, right? That's something that you do want. It's not like a undesirable effect. It's hard to say which one's better, Grandpa or Killmonger, in terms of the burn effect. But I do think that this effect right here, the +1 node, is probably the best one. And then you'd be exhausting Killmonger. Killmonger is the higher risk, higher reward. Grandpa is the lower risk, lower reward. So it just pick which one you prefer. Do you want the higher risk one, higher reward? If you want that, then click Grandpa. If you want the lower risk, lower reward, then click Killmonger. Yeah, I mean, again, both are fine. Oh, you got that one too. Nice. That was all worth it. That was actually very good. So just keep going. Okay. You do not want that, so you got to re-roll it. Okay, that's fine. Master Evasion Seal is fine. Cross your fingers. It goes into Critical Chaos is the next one. Okay, it's fine. Critical Chaos probably would have been better, but honestly, this is fine. Seal potion poisoning. Perfect. Yep. Go into that. Okay. Let's see. You want to definitely re-roll this one. Okay. Perfect. Boom. Click that into stagger. And you have I think it's a guaranteed. I think it's guaranteed. Okay. Click middle. Click middle. Click middle. And it's guaranteed 4/4. Boom. There we go. We got a 4/4 critical chaos. This is really good. This is unless you're gonna get a one with like another one with like a second line, basically, with like a better, like an attack or like, weapon power or something like that. This basically means your gloves are done. You have no need to cut gloves anymore. That's awesome. Okay.